All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about something that feels totally backwards, but is actually a secret weapon for building a successful business. It's a principle called building backwards.
So to really get why this is so important, we have to start with a pretty tough truth, a reality that almost every single startup faces the second they open their doors.
And that reality, it comes down to this one number, 90%. I mean, think about that. 9 out of every 10 startups just don't make it. But here's the kicker. The real story isn't that they fail, it's why.
So you look at this, and what just jumps out at you? The biggest reason by far, a whopping 35%, isn't what you'd expect. It's not running out of money, it's not getting crushed by the competition. Nope. It's building something that nobody actually wants. It's creating a solution to a problem that just isn't there.
So you got to ask yourself, right? Why does this keep happening? How does so many smart people get this so wrong? Well, a lot of the time, it's because they've bought into this really appealing but totally dangerous myth about how you're supposed to build a company.
And that myth is this idea that you have to go big or go home, right? A massive launch, tons of funding right out of the gate, this sprawling, complex plan for the next 5 years. But the reality? The way the winners actually do it, it's the complete opposite. They start smart. They find a tiny little corner of the market, build the smallest possible thing to test their idea, and stay laser-focused on that one vision.
Okay, so if starting big is the trap, how do you avoid it? Well, there's a solution, and it's a powerful strategy that literally flips the whole process on its head.
And this is it. This is the core principle. You're flipping the script. You still have that huge, world-changing vision. That's essential. But you don't build towards it piece by piece. Instead, you work backwards from it. You strip everything away until you're left with the absolute smallest, simplest product that can prove your big idea has legs. That little seed, that's your starting line.
And you know, this whole idea, it's not actually new. It's powered by a concept that, frankly, some of the most brilliant minds in business have used for decades to completely change the game.
And who else but Steve Jobs said it best, right? He called it winning by subtraction. And it's such a paradox, isn't it? Our gut tells us to win, we have to add more features, more options, more complexity. But Jobs knew, and the real innovators know, that true genius is about taking things away. It's about a ruthless pursuit of simplicity and clarity.
And just look at these examples. This is that idea in action, turning this massive, beautiful cathedral of an idea into a single, humble foundation stone that you can actually test. Dropbox is the classic. They didn't build this huge, complicated file syncing thing first. No way. They just made a simple 3-minute video to see if anyone even wanted it. Or Canva. They didn't launch trying to be the design tool for the whole world. They started as just a yearbook tool for Australia. It's about being disciplined, not about thinking small.
And let's be super clear here. This whole approach of starting tiny, it's not about having small ambitions. Far from it. It's actually a super disciplined, strategic way to achieve absolutely massive global growth. You know, there's this really old saying that nails this idea perfectly. A little leaven leavens the whole lump. It's like yeast in bread, right? You only need a tiny bit of that powerful, active ingredient, and it makes the entire batch of dough rise. It's the perfect metaphor for how a small, potent start can lead to these incredible, exponential results down the road.
And it's not just theory. You see this pattern again and again with some of the biggest companies on the planet. I mean, Amazon, we think the everything store, but they didn't start there. They started by selling one thing, and one thing only: books. Stripe? They didn't build a global payments infrastructure on day one. They started with a single, beautiful line of code. They found the core, the essence, and scaled that, not all the extra fluff.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but what does it actually look like in practice? How do you apply this to your own idea? Let's get down to brass tacks and look at a framework that can help.
Think of it like a funnel, right? At the very top, you've got your huge, ambitious idea. The funnel then forces you to squeeze that down to distill it into a single core belief or hypothesis. Then you squeeze it down even further into the smallest possible product you can build. I'm talking one feature for one very specific type of customer. And only then, once you've gotten real feedback from real people, do you even think about iterating and scaling up the parts that are actually working.
And the best part? This isn't some 5-year plan. You can put this whole thing into motion in just 90 days. Seriously. The first 30 days, that's all about defining that vision and building that tiny, tiny product. The next 30 days, you get it out there and you just listen.
You gather real data from real users. And in that final month, you look at what people actually love, and you double down on that. That's it. That's your launch.
And what's so powerful about this is that it's not just a cute trick for startups in a garage. This is a game-changing mindset for everyone involved in creating new things. If you're an entrepreneur, your job becomes chasing clarity, not adding features. If you're an investor, you should be looking for teams who are brilliant at subtracting. It's a fundamental shift in how we think about building the future.
So, let me leave you with this one question to think about. It's easy and it's fun to daydream about the finished masterpiece, right? That giant, spectacular cathedral you want to build. But the real question, the one that actually matters, is this. What's the smallest, most essential stone you can lay for your cathedral today?